What enormous volume of water does the water table representing? Imagine a hidden underground world filled with water stretching beneath our feet. That's what the water table is all about. It's the upper surface of the saturated zone in the ground where all the tiny pores and cracks in soil or rock are filled with water. This zone holds a huge amount of water, acting like a giant underground reservoir. The volume of water stored here is truly vast. It covers large areas and can go down quite deep, depending on the local geology and climate. For example, in some places, the water table can be just a few feet below the surface, while in others, it can be hundreds of feet deep. To get a sense of how much water is involved, think about that the groundwater in this saturated zone makes up about 30% of all the freshwater on Earth. That's more than what's stored in lakes, rivers, and even the water vapor in the atmosphere combined. It's a huge part of our planet's freshwater supply. The size of this underground water depends on the area of the saturated zone and how thick it is. If you imagine multiplying the area of the water-covered zone by its depth and the porosity of the soil or rock, meaning how much open space there is to hold water, you get an estimate of the total water volume. Porosity is an important factor here. For example, sandy soils can have porosities of about 25 to 30%, meaning a quarter of the soil's volume can be water. On the other hand, dense rocks have much lower porosity, holding less water. This enormous volume of water is vital because it supplies wells and springs that people and ecosystems depend on. When a well taps into the saturated zone, it's drawing from this huge underground reserve. The water in the water table can support agriculture, keep ecosystems alive, and provide drinking water for communities. However, the amount of water available can change. It depends on how quickly the ground is recharged by rain and snow. If too much water is pumped out without enough being replaced, the water table can drop, reducing the size of this underground reservoir. In summary, the water table holds an enormous volume of groundwater spread across vast areas and depths. It contains a large portion of the Earth's freshwater resources, making it a key part of the global water cycle and essential for human life and the environment. Its size varies based on the extent of the saturated zone and the porosity of underground materials, highlighting how important it is to manage this resource wisely.